need Gate to be on a diving damage dealer because Impact and Rush, they do dive. They do it very well, and they need another person in there with them.
Yeah, it changes how you play the jungle so much when you change mid laners. I touched on it a little bit, but like that may be a main reason why Rush has not returned to his same style, because even if you still have one solo lane that's really aggressive and really good to go back and gank for, it makes you predictable then. You need options as a jungler. You can't fall into a pattern.
All right, well, we're already seeing a lot of change here, though, so as far as bans are concerned, not always a pattern shown. We've seen the now Vayne and Tristana added to the Impulse ban list, while Liquid hasn't changed much so far, of course. Yeah. I guess you could say Game 1 went well enough for them. They're happy to keep things as they were.
Yeah, what's really interesting, though, is Team Impulse dropped their Kalista ban. It's something that they have banned in every single playoff game up until this point, and I was really wondering if Team Liquid is going to let it through. I think this mind game might have messed up Team Liquid a little bit because Azir and Kalista are arguably Phoenix and Piglet's best champions, and they end up banning both instead of deciding some type of trade.
It's so hard to give one of those away, though, for any sort of trade. I don't see Azir being played at all in any of these matches.
It's true. This also leaves Elise out for a potential first pick. It's something, the Elise Shen is something that Team Impulse used as a combo in their sweep of Team Dignitas in the quarterfinals, and they could easily put that together with this team.
Unless they don't feel like Dominate's a good enough Elise player and they just want the Shen right off the bat.
Or that Dominate is well-rounded enough that the effect of Elise or any of the other top junglers will be similar.
Yeah, unless you could knock Rush down a peg, and then it would be like a value-positive pick for Liquid just to knock Rush down. It's obviously a very complex situation. Either way, Impulse seem hamstringed. No, they're not going to go for it. They were considering the Lulu to keep Gate on a champion. He knew how to play well, but the Shen does come out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can only speculate on what type of champions Gate can play on the competitive level, but it really feels like they must have been having a ton of success with Lulu and maybe just almost none without, because they're really seeming to rely on those shielding type picks for Gate.
Yeah.
This time, though, it's definitely not first
pick.
It
makes me wonder if they will go for the higher damage with something like Victor this time around, since Impact is gonna be on the tank. It's been great for him. Impact is an amazing Shen player. He's able to apply a lot of map pressure, and he's able to have very timely ultimates. However, they're going to need that extra damage source now.
So much for Lulu. I like the fact that Team Liquid took it away. It's a great pick for Piglet. It's something Phoenix and Quas can both play, so the Lulu is a flex in that instance. And it also blocks Team Impulse from having the Kog'Maw with the Shen, which would have been a great combo. Those are great takeaway picks by Team Liquid.
Yeah, a lot of the champions they wanted to play are now gone here. And it seems like the picks and bans so far have gone pretty well for Team Liquid. Shen was not contested before, but Impulse really wanted it here. Now, as you mentioned, Elise is still up, as is a fairly successful Evelynn we've seen from Rush earlier. And they are going to see the Evelynn come through, and the Ashe again. So Impulse, again, going to keep almost similar style in a way. Two champions changed, but it's still a similar look.
And they have a lot of tools for picking fights, but will they use them? I mean, they have this long-range initiation. They have the possibility of an invisible flank from Evelynn with Shen on her back, but it's all about, can they take down the towers early enough to gain territory to do that, and then will they pull the trigger? Team Liquid proved in the last game that it was just the first team fight jitters, and they were able to show poise to pull it out in the end. Can Team Impulse also show poise and bounce back from a Game 1 loss?
Yeah, because with the team comp that Team Impulse is playing, it is in their initiative. They are the ones that have to create the fights. Probably in the bottom lane. That's where the Shen Evelynn submarine type combo that we call it comes into play the most. And it's going to be really key that they can attack that element of Team Liquid strategy now that they've picked a tank jungler, a Braum, with the Lulu. So much of the damage of this Team Liquid composition will be coming from Piglet. So the game is almost writing itself right here. Ooh. Team Impulse needs to shut down Quas a bit, and whoa.
The Soraka comes out!
It finally does.
I can't believe it finally shows it. All right, well, a lot of these supports, especially Adrian, have been playing a lot of Soraka in solo queue. She's very, very good for lane phase. Her roaming is atrocious, though.
Yes.
And that's one of the big reasons why she's not seen a lot in competitive play. So I'm very interested to see
how
Alrighty.
are to utilize her. And the gangplank counter for Shen here also has semi-global influence.
Yeah.
Also can bully Shen. With some well-placed barrels. Quas
like
was one of the
this.
early adopters, by the way, right after the Gangplank rework. I had a very fun time watching him after the early rework because he just built 4 Infinity Edges and went for tier damage. I doubt that'll be the build this time around, but he's definitely an exciting player.
Yeah, it definitely creates a bit more of a death ball for Team Liquid as well, though. Just trying to move around with the Gangplank and just crush them with range damage. Team Impulse, it's a little bit of a mix because they have all that amazing dive. Oh, baby Soraka in the back, backing it up. I really want to see how Adrian pulls this off and how safe he can stay against even a Gangplank ultimate if he heals himself too low.
Team Liquid have drafted a lot of very strong support for Piglet this time around. And it's a good idea to put all of your eggs into the Piglet basket after the last game's performance. Now he's on Kog'Maw. He has all of Lulu's defenses to support him and the Braum. We've been over so many times how well Braum can protect these AD carries in the back from both melee and range threats.
All right, so Team Liquid might feel really good coming into game 2 here. Of course, it is a best of 5, so we got more coming up. But as the teams load into the game, update your series predictions at home. We will check in on the fan vote once we're on the Rift. It's hashtag TIP winner, hashtag TL win. The fan vote initially was with Team Liquid. Team Liquid did win game 1, but there's still much more to be had today. As we head into game 2 here in Madison Square Garden, live from New York City. Team Liquid would love a 3-0. They've taken 1 so far. Team Impulse looking to fire back, and here we go with game 2.
All right, let's see how the deep wards span here for the level 1 with a Soraka on your team. Now, we always talk about how good Braum is in level 1s. We never quite say how good. His kit is ridiculous. With just 1 spell, Braum beams a 70% slow. That decays over 2 seconds. Oh, actually, they may even find somebody with it. Plus a 1.25 second stun, plus over 100 damage with his passive and just a single spell. If a team with Braum on it finds you in a level 1, they will be able to chase you down.
Yeah, which I think is one of the reasons Team Impulse is playing this so passively.
Have to give him a wide berth.
It's very similar, actually, to the level 1 that they did last game, where they had Adrian and Apollo sitting up in that top lane brush. It's a bit of a lane swap game of chicken right here because even though Team Liquid did get the deep wards that everyone likes to place when they're scouting for a lane swap, those will not see Team Impulse because they have preemptively gone into that brush. I wonder if any of that was mentioned in the 10 minutes these teams have after the game, because this is pretty much exactly the same move that Team Impulse played in game 1.
There is one clever thing, though. Impulse got a ward that most teams wouldn't expect would exist there because of the Evelynn. She's able to sneak by the invading champions and get a deep ward on the same side of the map that Liquid invaded from.
They can't get much. They can't get a kill here, but they could get some harass and maybe a summoner.
They could send Piglet to lane late. He goes left. Does he go for the taunt?
He is going to take so much damage.
He's going to phase check the brush. He does not have heal, keep in mind, so the amount of damage is not going to get repaired easily. Piglet down to 300 health already.
But he stays calm. He holds onto his flash.
Yeah, he took damage, but he also revealed Russian Impact and delayed their early jungle. So will there be pressure on Piglet? He has a health potion. Also, Braum can go up there and heal him a little bit with Targon stacks. And also, Team Liquid's not deterred at all here. They start the red buff.
Yeah, they're just ignoring Impulse's invade.
Well, that's pretty risky, but Smite is up for Dominate. He saved it off the first camp.
The longer they wait here, the closer X Special comes to supporting this. Also, Ashe and Soraka are thinking of coming over here. It's going to be a dare.
Soraka's coming, there's this Smite. Dominate gets it. He's going to get level 2, but not the same for Quas, as one of the small pieces was stolen away by either Impact or Rush.
Team Liquid still come out ahead. I mean, Impulse only got the Krugs off of this, and one of the small monsters out of the Brambleback camp.
Yeah, Team Liquid 2/3 of a camp ahead.
Piglet did a full recall, though, so the large wave hitting the turret, he is not willing to stick around for that, even though X Special was there. It was level 2 Soraka and level 2 Ashe. I think he could have pretty freely farmed here at the turret, but he was respecting maybe a level 2 Evelynn gank, which
I think he doesn't want to stay in a lane like that. It's so hard to get yourself back up. When Ashe can hit you freely and have all the damage get healed back, oh, nice bit of impact. Taunts through Quas to kill the barrel to make sure he wins the trade.
Yeah, there would be no way that he could possibly trade, especially since it's an Ashe Soraka. Yeah, any trade, Ashe will just force trades over and over and over, and Soraka will freely heal him up. This is the power of the Soraka. It's in the laning phase when they match up 2 versus 2.
And keep in mind, this team has 2 defensive globals here between Wish and Stand United, so if Rush gets himself into a fight, there's help from all sides of the map here.
Yeah. We did talk a lot about brush control in the last game, but especially with Gangplank, it's even more important to be able to get off barrels inside the brush. But also, if the junglers come to the solo lanes that are in off lanes, counter ganks can turn the entire game around because you have to use so much when you gank one of these long lanes. And a jungler waiting in one of these rush can turn around and double kill very easily. Gangplank has a lot of AoE damage that he can bring to those skirmishes.
Yeah, Rush has also been deported out by Dominate. Dominate did a nice full clear, got his Trinket Ward inside the red buff, so now Rush is scouted out. And again, because the lanes are kind of, even though they're inverted, they're standard lanes, 80 carries versus 80 carries. I wonder how well Piglet will be able to fight back from the early recall he had to give, since it is a Soraka in the lane. Yes, they can heal up trades, but the ability for them to go aggressive is diminished. And because of the spotting out of Rush in the jungle, Floss is not free to go aggressive because he saw an Eve just clearing red.
And that means it has to be safety for now for Team Liquid. The laning phase means so far equal gold on both sides. The mid laners ±4 is still something Gate can be happy about. Impact also trading close to equal against Quas. There's a big wave in front of him, so that will be equalized soon. There is a small lead for the AD carry. You're seeing +8 for Apollo. Again, that's partially from the recall, and you can see, again, the trading power. Apollo able to push Piglet back and just get a heal from Soraka, and it's like he never took damage in the first place.
Yeah, the key to playing Soraka, especially early on here, is actually making your star call count. If you really have to get used to that range on it so that you can cast it as the enemy AD carry moves up for a CS. When they're going for CS is when the movement is predictable and you can get that health back. Rush has found himself into the brush and Impact misses, so.
Eats the oranges. Quas still trying to run. Nice turns to auto attack to get the haste from triggering the passive. Quas very familiar with the champion, but loses flash.
Since he didn't have to use his orange to get out of crowd control, I would have liked to see him wait longer so that he could heal more with it.
True.
Because the lower you are, the more that you can heal with the citrus.
Either way, does not get away all that cleanly. Flash down, I think is completely worth it here for the Impulse squad. And if you can hold down Gangplank, he does not have an easy time when behind. He kind of needs the time to set up the ability to scare you away from getting in his face. So that can get very difficult. See if it goes this way.
Plus, I like the timing of the gank. If you're going to attack top laners with ganks like this, where they still have their flashes up, and your only hope is really to chunk them out and take their flash, it's important to get that before the teleports come back off of cooldown from the initial rotation of teleports, and that way that they lose more CS by walking back to lane. If he had done that same gank a minute later now, then the teleport would have been back up, just right back to lane.
Yeah, and Impact honestly gains a fair bit of freedom right now. Yes, he still needs to shot, but he's ultimate up plus teleport, whereas Quas has been denied that experience as well. So it does create a power imbalance on this specific side of the map. With all that being said, though, this game is still basically the teams feeling each other out. Rush has not been able to make anything more happen. Definitely no good.
Yeah, it does take away a lot of the bite of the Gangplank pick into Shen. Big part of it early on is to try and get a lot of harass down on Shen and get pressure on him so that if Shen decides to use his teleport elsewhere, you can send him off at low health and then add your ultimate to try and even the odds for your team when they get there. And then just push the wave. He is making good use of the AoE of the barrels to get extra gold, though, from the minions.
120-ish right now. 127 so far from Parlay. So if you kind of consider the gold lead of the game itself, which is basically equal, you're seeing Parlay is really what's keeping Team Liquid safe in this game, is the lane slightly eking away from them.
And the main thing we're going to be tracking here is how Rush uses his level 6 in conjunction with Impact, because Evelynn Shen is one of the hardest combos to play against in League of Legends. If they actually wanted to get in behind probably the top lane with Piglet up there, who is a heal-less Kog'Maw, it could be a kill. You bring in Shen with the Evelynn, Ashe flies in with the arrow. Yes, there's a cleanse, but the amount of damage you can throw down can be unstoppable unless Team Liquid is basically either sitting in their brushes all the time or pinking pretty much every approach, which both of those things are incredibly hard to do. The next best thing is Dominate can get deep wards on top of a camp, which he did get at least one deep pink.
Yeah, exactly. And the way that you want to execute that Evelynn Shen attack on the cleanse target is have Evelynn open up, and Shen doesn't immediately use taunt when he arrives. That's the play pattern that you're used to seeing. But with Evelyn's slows, you force the Kog'Maw to use one of his escapes to try and get away from the slows, and then follow up with a taunt or gap closer as well as locking down with that CC.
Yeah, and there's a couple other ways you can try and play against that. Dominate needs to babysit on that side, and Quas could assist to defend the dive with a Cannon Barrage. So there are a few things Team Liquid can do against the dive if it happens, or maybe it's just a big mind game and Team Impulse isn't going to go for it at all because it would be too tough.
Apollo still trying to harass best he can. He knows he's really not afraid of these guys over here. Of note, Ashe actually better than average against Braum's Unbreakable Shield. The first Q arrow gets broken, but it hits 5 times anyway. Very, very slight damage increase as a result. Impact out times that. Quas gonna get pushed back farther in this lane. The recall for Bombies.
The constant invades actually as well from Team Liquid, Dominate and X Special, trying to get these pink wards deep into Impulse territory have paid off.
This is really interesting. Phoenix is roaming top lane either for a gank or to try and preempt the dive from Shenny, but the dive is actually on the other side of the map. They're going for the unprotected Quas.
And there's the taunt right on top of him. There's the ult. He's traded back and forth. Impact's going to get away cleanly thanks to Wish. And First Blood goes over to Rush. Tops of the map, nothing happens yet.
The gank pressure from Rush early on earns Impact the advantage in the lane, and the pressure that Impact keeps up. This is why everyone always looks to Impact and Rush when they're looking at Team Impulse.
It even means a blue steal.
And it's just so hard to play against because you could see Dominate was cheating topside in hope that he could avoid the other gank. Even though Quas does get off a nice double barrel right there.
He dodged it.
The added healing from the Soraka right there really ended up saving Impact's life. Just so many things the Team Liquid have to prepare for, and they end up getting First Blooded.
I'm pretty sure Impact taunted through the first fail and on the second one he didn't get hit.
It looked to me like he took damage.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think Quas was using his W as heals as well. So he didn't have the remove scurvy up for taunt there.
Yep. Not the best way of dodging the gank, that's for sure.
All right. Well, all is well. Impulse now sitting 1,000 gold ahead. Top lane did stay alive with Rush throwing down to the bot side. Of course, Stand United still available. Impact can help keep Ashe safe. She did use her flash recently. I'm not sure from what, but Apollo is missing flash right now. Bit of damage on a Piglet, and the root's going to land as well. They don't want to follow up on this one. But he's losing health. A Sheen only on Piglet. That's decent for trading, but not good for getting all in.
And we talked about how Team Liquid's going to need Piglet to have a pretty big game as far as a damage reliance standpoint goes. Now they're trying to go up. Shenolth is up to try and stop this dangerous gank from Dominate.
Tries to slow down Dominate. There's a flashless Ashe. That's not a great thing. Here comes the taunt. Here comes Quas, and he gets the first kill. There is one traded back, though. Dominate goes down. A 1-for-1. The barrels are up. The slow on Impact. 239 damage after armor on him.
So now Impact does have teleport advantage because Quas used his teleport to answer the Shen ultimate. Impact can teleport down to bottom lane and try and gain an advantage there. Right now they're going to shove the wave in first.
Yeah, not a favorable trade for Team Liquid right there. Yes, they did take down the Ashe, but they lose a lot of global map pressure under the turret.
Taunt on the Quas, puts the ulti down, but there's still a lot of damage coming through. The big sounds from Soraka buys a lot of time. One more hit will do it. Rush gets his 3rd kill of the game, and Impact is still in turret range, but not taking nearly enough damage. Soraka enabling all of these dives.
So many heals onto the Sunfire Cape's Impact. Just laugh at the turret. Team Liquid thought they were safe. But yeah, that's
Impulse no better.
It's just comical to watch. All she has to do is stand in the back line, behind her AD carry, behind the front line, spam out heals. And
where was this Impulse in the semifinals? Where was the Adrian, make everyone dive forever? Where was the aggression that worked from Rush?
Here's the thing. Chip has actually been having pretty good early games throughout the playoffs. It's in the team fighting phase in the late game, even as we saw in game 1, where they've been struggling. This is another example of Tip having a strong, fairly coordinated early game. 4-0 on Rush. The question will be whether they can team fight and get backline access. Let's take a look at this dive again, though, Kobe.
All right, so it starts off with a taunt. Saves the W there and tries to ring around the Rosie around the turret. They actually do a pretty good job, especially trying to block for him, but with Rush having flash, nobody was going to get away there. And Adrian with the clutch heals even keeps Impact upright.
Yeah, unless Team Liquid can get some type of damage onto Soraka, it's going to be really hard for them to cut through in these team fights.
That was a cheeky little move. He, in fact, goes in with the taunt so that Quas can't trigger his barrel.
Yep.
Kills the barrel while he's taunted and unable to set it off.
He's been doing that all laning phase. Also interesting, I didn't know this, but it's smart by Quas. Whenever he tosses the barrel at his feet, he attacks at the very beginning. So it's ready for one tick almost right away.
Yeah.
Hashtag Gangplank tips. That's why I cast LCS, learn how to play the game better. Rush back to the top lane. Ulti's up in about 12 seconds.
There is a pink ward in the flank approach from Rush, so he would be tipped off here, and the turret is dead. So there's, unless Quas was able to hold that, there's no real reason to go in there. Impact should push for the pink ward, though, but they don't know that it's there.
Meanwhile, Impact himself is on top of a green ward, so he's already spotted out and doesn't even know it.
Rush is around the pink this time, though.
Is able to circumvent the pink ward. The problem is that Quas is behind, and he's scared of just Impact. So ganks don't work if they're already scared of the laner alone.
Impact, you're too scary.
And meanwhile, Team Liquid on 2 big carries have about 1,000 gold to grow with. Double Trinity Force users in the top and 80 carry positions means they're going to want to wait around a little while. Honestly, if I'm Impulse, I look for something to take before those items come through because you can guarantee Liquid won't want to fight you yet. The question is what they can look to do. Phoenix a bit sequestered off. Here comes Rush. Here comes the attempt to kill him off. Dodge away from Glitterline, so does not come.
Yeah, they really got nothing down. They knew he had a cleanse up, so they didn't want to commit anything too hastily on that. At the time, though, Team Impulse has all of their number advantage spells up again. They have Shen ult. Eve is obviously invisible. Soraka ult as well if they want to try another turret dive. Yep, there's a shot.
They hit Piglet. They're going to put down the Soraka Silence. It will not root anyone, though.
All the way around from Rush, and they can support
Rush.
with Shen if they want.
When's Impact going to show? They've slowed down Piglet. There's the submarine. He's in the brush, but he's going to go down. There's the kill. There's the taunt. There's the 6th kill of the game for Team Impulse.
Just a smooth gank. They have the early game pressure on Team Liquid, and all the options they have to create fights with this Shen and Evelynn plus Ashe are just netting them kill after kill here. Not too much Team Liquid can do against this.
Another blue buff stolen away. Dragon likely to be in their sights right afterwards. It does give a bit of time for Quas to farm this top lane, though with teleport available for Impact, he can show right back up there once they're sure Dragon's safe. They will indeed go for this one. Looks like Impulse won't lose too much of the backside here.
Yep, pretty easy pickup for them. The old go to the source of the global and gank that lane, paying off for Impulse. It works both ways, whether the global's on your team or theirs, enabling Impact to take over this game by giving him an advantage in lane. And Rush, with 5 of the last hits in those kills, is going back to the full damage build.
I've seen it very commonly. It's Riley's second Evelynn makes you incredibly sticky. I usually see tank from there.
It's so good against melee champions.
Oh, yeah.
To just even keep them just out of auto attack range with your Q. You rarely do see melees, taking advantage of range discrepancies to try and kite people. But with Rylai's now adding 40% for AoE's effects, makes it very easy for Evelynn and her hate spike to just toy with melee champions.
Well, Impact has not made his way back to the top side, though. That wave has bounced without any interactions yet at all. Impact takes some damage, doesn't seem to care too much. First Trinity Force done now for Quas.
And Impact is a brick wall right now. It's so hard for Team Liquid to do anything against him. Only the Athenes on Phoenix.
That was the other option. Luden's Echo for Rush.
Oh, wow.
It works really well with Evelynn because
he did that last time, actually.
Yeah. She casts so many spells, and she always is running quickly because of W resets. You get a lot of value out of it, but it does leave you
really
you squishy.
As we were saying, though, it's not like Team Liquid could do much damage as of now. Yes, they just completed 2 Trinity Forces, so at least they get a small spike, but it's a 5,000 gold discrepancy, and even with those Trinity Forces, they're not going to be cutting through with Sunfire Cape, Cloth Armor, level 11 Shen, with Soraka heals behind him, or an Ori Shield for that matter as well. So now Team Impulse setting up the siege, knowing they can support it with the Shen ultimate if they pick a fight.
Well, Quas lost 1/3 of his health. A basic ability combo from Rush.
Okay, so Luden's is cool, but double Trinity Forces completed is also significant for Team Liquid. Even though they are so far behind in gold, they have at least gotten items that they can try and fight with. They're at least trying to defend their own territory here. This is exactly what they had to do last game, was try and play the defensive ward game, try and keep Impulse's ward coverage out of their own jungle. Right this time, though, going to be more difficult.
Impact goes in with the taunt. The arrow lands. Dominant has no chance of surviving here. Big ulti comes in, and actually, no, the re-engage comes across. Two-man shockwave. Impact nearly dead. Adrian low, and Piglet gets his first kill of the fight. Finally traded back as Rush comes in from the side. A 1-for-1 as Tank's dead on both sides.
And it's very important that Team Impulse does not overreach here. It's been their Achilles heel in the games they've lost in the playoffs, is the one big mistake they make in a game. This was not that mistake, but they did burn a lot for a little. They lost their top laner just for X Special, and now Team Liquid is free to farm the mid lane.
We'll see what they go for next here. Blue buff is safe. Looks like Liquid do not feel comfortable pushing across the river. So all is well here. Mid lane matchup, plus 18 CS. Solid for Phoenix. 0-0-1, can't complain here. Piglet also having a kill on the board, of course, is very, very important, but he's been losing his matchup by a little bit here.
And again, this is kind of the 20-minute mark. Team Impulse with a big lead, just like they had in game one. And they just try to force play in the jungle that didn't necessarily net them large results. When will they be able to force the correct plays? Rush is relentless. He needs to be relentless in his aggression right here. Can he stop Squash before the recall? He does!
Oh, Quas, good luck. Red buff is on. The orange is not going to do anything. Easy pickup. It is not K. If you want a K, you should have gotten bananas.
Other jungler has 7 kills in 20 minutes. Definitely not okay. It's a big problem.
Hey, his CS matches his kill score. 7-1.
Wow.
Planned it.
The true hero.
Numbers matching. All right, well, Apollo going to feel just fine down to the bot lane. Turret took some damage, but he is okay here. You see Phoenix playing the farm game, and you know, the map is broken up, and it's got to be so hard for Team Liquid to play around this map. In game one, they were behind. They were against Ash Leona. They played safely, and it was all right, but they could at least see the threats coming across. Now when Rush can solo kill the top laner, it gets really hard to deal with this.
The only thing that is going for them this time around, though, is that they've been able to keep their mid turret upright. When that mid turret falls, all of Team Liquid's safe farming areas just disappear. All right, the arrow goes wide.
Something's going on.
Whoa,
Gate gets caught!
Gate's gonna take a lot of damage, gets the shield in. Here comes the teleport in from Quas. Shockwave buys some time, cleanses a little bit, and the damage continues to go through. A flash body slam from Dominate, gets the kill picked up. Soraka can't do enough for her team just yet. The ulti's already down, and in fact, the chase keeps coming through. Impact keeps getting targeted heals from Adrian to keep the front laner alive. Quas still buying a lot of time. It's a 1-for-0, and Liquid get out.
Yeah, Gate looked like he was on vacation or something. I need to see that again to wonder why he was there, but he gets punished for that. He lands a 3-man shockwave, but again, with a big goal lead, to lose a 1-for-0 is a huge setback as far as trying to close the game out in an ideal fashion.
Curiously, Gate also went Ignite here, which is honestly strange. Most mid laners seem to play something a bit more defensive as far as their second summoner choice as well. Gate's not the style of player to need to go fight people with the Ignite. I'm a little bit surprised, honestly.
Yeah, so Gate walks through a ward. Honestly, he has no reason to go there without any scouting beforehand, and they did not have vision of Team Liquid, so a bit of a mistake, but Team Impulse does try and improvise. Shen ult, Soraka ult keeps him alive for quite some time, and then the rest of Impulse just try and collapse in. It looked like Rush was probably trying to make a play in the top lane, so Gate wanted to support it, and that's why he walked through the wards.
It's just a very dangerous map movement there from Gate. You know, he's always trying to be there in time for the rest of the team, trying to keep up with the rest of the team. But controlling the vision around your mid lane to make sure that you can roam safely is the first step in that. It does pay off for Team Liquid, but it's only 1 kill. They aren't able to get any objective afterwards. So in the end, it's just gold, 1 kill's worth of gold going over. And Team Impulse doesn't provide too much of a speed bump for them. Dragon number 2 picked up very quickly.
Team Liquid at least do get the top lane outer turret down, though, so that gold gap is getting bridged somewhat. Only 3.6 thousand, not too bad, actually. This is better off than TL were over in game 1.
Yeah, amazingly. The small wins they've been able to get, the 1-for-1 in their own jungle, the kill on the Gate, and the fact that, as Kobe said, they're able to keep that mid lane turret alive again and again because Phoenix has been stellar with his wave clear and his recall timings, not leaving windows for that mid lane to be attacked. Team Liquid is just trying to show poise here and stick around despite the difficult start once again.
So far, the poise is okay. We'll see if they can get much more out of this one. Dragon 2 fairly late into the game, not a huge risk to them because Dragon 5 is still 16 minutes out.
It's just so rare that when I see a team this far ahead in gold as Team Impulse are and have more towers, that they're behind in ward coverage. It's Team Liquid who have just complete defensive warding game after game here. And Impulse, even with the control of the map and the advantage that they have, haven't been able to make a significant dent in it.
Yeah, but one thing that Rush tries to do is he knows where the wards are and he tries to make a play. Three-man flank on a Piglet.
And they're going to do a lot of damage to him. Even if he has cleanse, it doesn't matter. The taunt comes in, the damage comes through. Thank you very much.
For all the wards that Team Liquids have, unless a pink sees Rush or he gets caught by a regular ward while clearing a camp, that is still a nearly indefensible play. And the more Team Impulse can execute that, the faster they can gain an edge in this game.
They're just keying around Rush. 100% kill participation for him. 7-0 and 2. Rush is second up, only missing out on one so far in this game thanks to a solo kill from Rush. And Impulse happy to play around just those players, those two, making it all happen, getting the game farther ahead, and this is actually a formula that seems to be succeeding. Of course, they just show up to Apollo's lane, who arrows them and someone dies.
Yeah, I mean, so it is
Impact, though, is all alone.
Oh, big misstep there. 4 members come to stop him.
It is
Taunts
a
away,
formula that has worked for them, but it's such a simple formula. You only have 2 components, right? And
1 + 1 is 2.
I can't argue with you, freaking got me.
Simple formulas are the easiest, man. Can't get them wrong.
Well, Team Impulse needs to find the formula for closing the game. Because honestly, in their set against CLG, they definitely had 2 close games in game 1 and 2, but through a series of mistakes and poor rotations, they weren't able to close. And again here, just strange recall timing, strange backs. Impact got cut out, he had to flash away, he has no ultimate. So the pressure from Team Impulse is again relaxed, and Team Liquid gets the time to farm. And that's a nice little barrel hop that Quans is able to pull off.
690 damage.
Ghostblade's second item on Gangplank.
I actually like that.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
really do like
really,
that.
really scary thing for a Soraka. You can see he's already trying to build some armor here.
Which is going Zeke's, because he's always going
Stroud
Zeke's.
as quickly as possible.
I think it's a happy coincidence for him. Oh, the stun lands, but Quas eats oranges, doesn't seem to care. Million Adder does at least go down, so Impulse bought enough time.
Yeah. As far
Yeah,
as trying to
that's
close
gonna
out the game here for Team Impulse, we have to be very clear that Team Liquid has a lot of ways of dodging around these things. Rom can put it Unbreakable. They have double cleanse.
Oh, wow.
Maybe it's not going to be enough, though.
It might not be. Phoenix flashes. Rush doesn't seem to care. Ulti comes in, but it's already Phoenix alive. Now Dominate also going to be safe as well. Impulse can't get much picked up.
Yeah, double cleanses Lulu ult. It's okay from Gangplank. So many things to stop the hard initiations there. I like the patience of Phoenix actually right there to save his wild growth until Team Impulse is going to fully commit, and then he still saves himself.
Solid stuff. A lot of ultis traded back and forth. Ash Arrow now going to be down for the next 45 seconds. Adrian does need to find ways to keep his health topped off, though. He has to be around mini waves to get the healing from the upgraded Talisman of Ascension here. It's a significant amount, but without other passive regen, it gets a little bit more difficult. I almost want to see Flask on him at some point, just to make sure he doesn't get picked off by GP at some point.
Yeah, it's all about...
Apollo takes a whole lot of damage. They've already picked up one, but traded back as the AD carry goes down and gains the next target here. An overstep, and Team Liquid looking good.
TIP have to work around the Stand United. If Impact does not have ultimate, they can't be making these plays. He's separated from the entire team. 1+1 there. Something fell apart, Freak. They didn't have one.
Yeah, they had aggressive positioning, but had no aggressive spells to back that up. We'll have to see the beginning of that fight again because it looked like Team Liquid created the pick out of nothing. And now it's again Team Liquid storming back. They were down 6,000 to 7,000 gold already in this game, and they're again the aggressors.
So in a 4v3, they knock down mid. Out of the knockdown mid tier 2, they're getting this game much, much closer now. But Rush already wants in. Apollo does have the arrow, doesn't cast it though.
Rush is hoping to catch someone in a recall.
Gives Phoenix just some time.
At the best, yeah, he just delays them.
That still buys him time though. We just saw Team Liquid use the smallest of windows off of a small team fight win to get a lot done. Maybe Impulse do something like Baron setup here.
Well, they delayed the recall, so at least it gives them time to get wards in. It's more about the bait for a fight. They have almost all their ultimates up now. If they can wait about 10 seconds for Stand United, the ideal would be flanking Team Liquid as they approach the Baron area and getting some damage on Piglet.
They need to get Impact into a position where he's split pushing if they want to do that then, to try and get the most out of it. Yeah, it was, again, Gate and Apollo just really bad positioning and a fail flash. Just pure mistakes there from Impulse. They even have deep wards this time.
The damage dealing front line was up at the front of the ward line with their tanks behind them. That is just something that should almost never happen, but it is a lapse of communication that has plagued Team Impulse so far in these playoffs.
A big misstep gives the leg back to Team Liquid here. We'll see if they can stand out long enough to get farther back into this one. It only took them one team fight to basically win the game last time around for Team Liquid. We'll see what kind of advantage they need this time around, if Impulse will give them that chance. Still 5 kills up, still 4,000 gold. Dragon number 3 is alive.
Absolutely huge right here. It's a dangerous spot for Team Liquid to go into if they actually want to pick up this Dragon, because the instant they engage, they open up vulnerabilities to flank unless they cover with the proper pink ward.
Right now, Team Liquid, they're looking for the backline because they just saw the fail flash from Apollo and Adrian. They know his is still down. If they can get a good Gragas barrel or even some gangplank explosion onto those two, it's a huge win for Team Liquid in the team fight. Yes, they're down in gold, but the backline of Impulse is vulnerable right now.
Plus, there's no TP and he's separated.
Yeah, I actually
Quick
like
clear.
what Team Impulse is doing for the most part, trying to split push with the Shen as well as push up the mid lane, because Team Liquid actually has good pink wards behind them to stop the flank. So instead, Team Impulse might just try and brute force this Dragon and hope Team Liquid funnels in.
Yeah, Matt favored them. Teleport advantage for Impact. Top was already pushing out. Quas went to go clear it away, so it gave them just enough room to sneak in and take Dragon number 3. That's move speed for the team. Actually a pretty big deal to let the team get around the map here. Impulse still looking solid in this one. Impact does not have the best of wards keeping him happy here. There is actually a pretty easy rotation for the mid lane, but he's going to be all right so far. Rush continuing to tax the map as much as he can. He is no longer the richest man in the game. He's been surpassed by Impact and Phoenix, but he was for a while the guy with all the gold.
Yeah.
Did turn back to tank items afterwards. Rush stopped the loot with Zeko.
Rush shut out of kills for the last 10 minutes. He had 7 kills just before the 20-minute mark. We're now 30 minutes in, so just another example of how the game has stalled out yet again. Having very recent flashbacks for Team Impulse about not being able to close out the game. If they were to have early game leads in their first 2 games and not be able to close out Team Liquid on back-to-back occasions, that would be immensely demoralizing. And would be
Look how
almost impossible
difficult this
to
is
come
for
back.
Impact. Quas, knowing when to turn aggressive, 3 aggressive items in a Spectre's Cowl. If you count the cooldown boots as that. Gets 7 damage back into Impact, who respects him.
It's also, the time that it takes for Impulse to close out the game is also due to the tactic that Team Liquid take. Team Liquid go into turtle mode as soon as their outer ring of turrets are down. Rush are going to have to run away from Dominate here, but Team Liquid, they do a very good job of being able to farm their 3 lanes consistently while still staying safe near their turrets and keeping up their defensive vision. The thing that you give away in this tactic is complete dragon control, and that's why we keep seeing Impulse stacking their dragons. The key to this tactic of Team Liquid, of running this, is that you have to make your move before the dragon stacking gets out of hand and before Impulse are able to get to number 5.
Well, Rush sneaks into the brush. He's hoping Piglet goes for this farm. They're going to send Apollo to clear it out and push the wave in. If someone shows up who shouldn't, they'll die right away. Do Impulse put enough pressure into this top lane outer turret? They're just going to have Rush show up. Piglet is there to defend, but he's on the safe side and with the support.
Pretty good wave clear again. Apollo doesn't really have tanks set up in front of him. Oh, Quas might be in trouble here.
The big taunt with the oranges already used. Quas now trying to run away from this one. Impact is out of energy, though. There's not a lot left for Quas to do. He's going to pop the barrel.
Like
No, he
panicking.
doesn't. Impact going to do all the damage he needs. There's the flash. Another set of oranges used. Oh, wow. He blows up the barrels. Another taunt used to get over to the side. But where's Eve? There's Rush. There's the dive on in. Doesn't need the ulti. Gets the kill. Rush is legendary.
Best friends, Rush and Impact, always teaming up on Quas right here. Now this could be the window for Team Impulse to take something down. They have 30 seconds while Quas is dead before he can teleport in. They have pink ward control. They have an Eve ultimate. They start the Baron.
All right, there's the risk. Impact uses his Stand United on top of the fountain to tank up everything he can. He's got a Thornmail done now, but can this team stop Dominate? He's had such a good record of stealing
Closing in for it.
Barons this season.
If they're going to finish, it's going to be a smite fight. They have not denied Dominate this whatsoever. They have to be incredibly careful here.
They block out the vision.
Quas is almost alive as well to teleport in. This is going to be a huge fight.
There's the taunt. They go for Dominate. They go for the damage. Now can they get enough done? 800 health on Baron. It goes to the blue team. That gets picked up, and Ash gets the kill. Over the wall they go. Rush wants Piglet. Not going to find him yet, but they will find Special. 2 kills picked up. and the Baron make that 3.
I'm so impressed that Impulse were able to communicate that stop on Baron. They forced Dominate into the Baron pit. He used his damaging combo, so from that point, all the damage they had to account for was the pure damage of Dominate's Smite, and he had to use it before he died, so Rush just held on to his, able to get that last hit, and Impulse run straight up the mid lane.
Yeah, with 3 dead on Team Liquid and a freshly acquired Baron buff, they can take a ton of objectives off this play.
As long as Adrian's careful, takes damage from the ulti, pops Wish to make sure he's gonna be all right. And the mid lane inhibitor goes down. Now, the turret's gone, the inhibitor's gonna be next. That will get picked up. Impulse now to run away as the respawns come in. Barrel will not put any more slows down. Impulse up 14-5 in kills, 9,000 gold, and they've got time to recall.
A huge salve relief there from Impulse, able to finally crack through the defenses of Team Liquid after drying them out for that Baron.
Yeah.
It's Impact and Rush. Once again, they make the pick to start it off. They get the numbers advantage, and they secure this Baron as well.
Yeah, it's the stop damage. Obviously, Dominate put out the barrel right here. Watch the backside of this fight, though. Lulu gets blown completely up, so Piglet gets stopped. It's cleansed away.
Oh yeah, Gate running interference.
Right into the shockwave of Phoenix, and he kills him through the Lulu ultimate. So while that was going on, Gate did the proper thing. He wasn't keeping up with his team. He was doing his own thing on the side, which finally ends up working out. Team Impulse closes the double kill afterwards. And I think it's really important for Team Impulse to recognize why that was a successful play. Team Liquid is a better team fighting team than Team Impulse. Just mechanically, they understand the front line, the tank line, and can protect their carries better. But Team Impulse is a better team at finding skirmishes, and everything that happened there was off of a skirmish. They killed Quas, forced an odd-numbered fight, and just kept the game scattered.
Rush and Impact are trying so hard to carry this game, and they're doing a good job of it this time around.
It's back to the old Impulse style. Get the bot lane so they can help those two do everything. Bring some Ash Arrows, bring a Wish, bring things that help those guys do all the work, and they are doing an amazing job of that right here. Top lane now under fire. Impact does still have all of his global teleports available. Quas has to be afraid. Thornmail making it way too hard to do anything useful. And the team can keep on pushing up. Top lane tier 2 is gone. That's 7 turrets picked up now. The Team Liquid's 4. Stun on a Dominate doesn't really mean a whole lot.
Yeah, not synced up with Rush's initiation. You can tell that Team Impulse is thinking of doing a flank, but that's a pretty risky dive onto the inhibitor.
Yeah, even if it was, that was really dangerous to go for. The rest of the damage from Impulse would be cut outside the line, but because they don't go for it, they're able to get a lot of damage on top turret. Will they be engaged on?
Well, they might give up top tier 2, but now Apollo going to get chased down. The ulti's popped, the slow's not going to land. Gate flashes to get away from the barrel, and it just gives more and more time. Impact saved the ulti, knew his team was fine. He's going to get the inhibitor.
Really strong disengage right there. Rush using his stealth within the base of Team Liquid, not getting spotted by creep boards, and they are just playing the numbers advantage. Now with 2 inhibitors down, it's all about waiting for the super minions, trying to get Team Liquid drawn off, and then they can dive that 3rd inhibitor. They no longer really care about the 5 dragons. They're going for the pressure right now to clear the 3rd inhibitor.
And it might be likely the team is all behind them. They already show the Shen and the Evelynn. Preemptive barrels set up for Quas. He's going to be one of the big damage dealers here. Him and Piglet. Bottom tier 2 still taking damage. Baron buff has timed out. Russ still doesn't find much to do yet. A little bit of damage to Dom. Backs right out again. Blue Elixir is on. And again, the turret finally goes down. Here we go. Last inhibitor laid bare. There's the taunt. Shockwave catches Dominate. There's the first kill of the fight. And not much more Quas can do. Impact still taking up in the front line. Adrian staying alive. Rush the same. Gets a shield from Shen, and now the push towards Xpecial. They're going to pick him up. That's already 3 kills picked up now for this one. And we've got ourselves a series, ladies and gentlemen. This should be game 2 going to Team Impulse as long as they can close it out with the minions. It's only Phoenix alive against the world. And he's not strong enough, so that will be the 2nd turret. That will be the Nexus, and we've got a 1-to-1 series as Impulse fires back.
Oh, and the taunt on the fountain at the end, just to put the icing on the cake. Got him. Nice job for Team Impulse. They lulled a bit in the mid game after their incredibly large lead at 20 minutes, but ultimately it was Impact and Rush who continually found the picks and made the plays, and Gate, Apollo, and Adrian played a strong supporting cast. 1-1.
Yeah, honestly, the Sirocco did play a large role in the early game success for